Hello everybody, welcome back once again. We are playing the Lord of the Rings, the Third Age. Just about to start on the Balrog battle. I did want to go over, though, what I did there between videos, which was just, I think, 2 levels on Barithor. It was either 2 or... It was probably 2 on most of these characters, other than maybe Hadhad only did 1 level, but whatever. Anyways, let's go and take a look at the passive skills, which was what I was really concerned about. I finished out immune to fear with Barithor, right? Because now everybody's level 36, which means they're starting on... Well, I shouldn't say that. I think Hadhad is actually 37. Anyways, we're starting on basically our next set of passives, and I was just a little bit worried about the Balrog fight maybe gaining too many levels. So anyways, got started on double attack here with Barithor. Hadhad is working on battle-hardened armor. I really just don't think I'm going to be using double attack much, which is why I went with battle-hardened armor instead. So, right, getting a little bit more armor instead of, basically a sort of a passive that I won't make use of. Next up is actually Elagast. Here I had it was kind of a tough question here for me, which was to go with either Blessing of Haste, and I should say I learned Lingering Sleep, right? So now his sleep arrows are going to last forever, which is absolutely crazy. But Blessing of Haste here says allows Elagast to take actions more often during combat. I'm going with this one instead of Crippling Might, which was the only other option here that I really thought was like needed next. But, the fact that Blessing of Haste just kind of applies to Elagast being able to take actions, just more often, I felt like made a little bit more sense than making Crippling Might a little bit better. So that is where he is at. Idriel learned Frenzy. I don't know that I'll use that a whole lot, but, maybe at some point. But here we've got a question between basically all of these abilities on the right-hand side. I'm actually going to go with Idriel's Armor Protection, which is Malorn Armor next, just because she already has an amazing AP pool. And also, I don't really need her to automatically regenerate action points, although that'll be a little bit, I think, more useful than the higher pool. But I'm going to do Malorn Armor next, and then I'll do Endure Shadow after that. So that's the plan. But yeah, that is where we are at. Alright, let's get started here. Alright, full health, full AP. Looks like we're good to go. Alright, here he is, the big man himself. Let's see here. Remember if we've got any. Yeah, it's single target. Let's actually use Symbol Mine on Barithor. Gonna bring in Idriel here. Let's do Haste of the Elves on her right away. We'll get everybody hasted up. I'm going to do Company Resistance here, just to hopefully reduce damage. Flaming Sword on Gandalf. Yeah, this thing's abilities look really freaking cool. Gandalf has so much health. Love it. Alright, let's do Mountain Shield. Last Gasp. That's probably not a bad idea, actually, to use Last Gasp early on. Only because the first few turns we're going to be really vulnerable. And this thing does it. I mean, he just does a ton of damage. This ability here is going to rock. Okay, well, Mountain Shield prevented a lot of it, but... And there you can see he's nuking our AP, which is honestly extremely annoying. One of the worst parts about this, actually. Let's do haste on Hadhod. And haste on Barathor. Oh, jeez, we can just haste everybody. Alright. Zero damage. Just get that Mountain Shield back up. I'm gonna swap Elagast in here. Let's do resistance again because I want to get Elagast buffed up too. And then we'll use a Royal Grace here to get some health back. Use a regular Stone Shield on him as well. Let's see here. Wizard's Drain. Alright, so drain spirit from enemies. This also, though, gives your other characters AP. So basically it disperses AP that you drain away, if I remember right anyway. Let's see. Yeah. So that gives the rest of the characters AP back. And of course now we're going to lose a bunch more. So obnoxious. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so Hadhod needs a Symbiote. Yeah, let's do that. And we're going to drain again. Berserk. Triple crit. Oh, Endure Shadow. I feel like that might make some sense. I don't know if that, I don't know how Company Resistance and Endure Shadow affect each other. I'm just not quite sure on that, but rather be safe than sorry, I guess. Let's do... Let's do Hue Armor. Get working on doing some damage here. Critical. Bolt of the Valor does a pretty good amount of damage. Zerp. Let's see here. Berserk. He's already got Berserk, right? Yeah, he's Berserk. Spirit Cleave. Lowers Spirit Defense of a foe. That seems like that makes sense. Oh, miss. We gotta get a Company Valor going, I think. There we go. Try this again. Yeah, immune to crippling. Which is unfortunate, but... Still have Royal Grace on. What about Fellowship Grace? Nope. I'm gonna get that going. Miss. Stop missing. Q armor and spirit cleave. This probably won't do anything to him. Let's do Inflictor form. Some more HP regeneration going. Swapping Idriel again. Oh, she needs to give haste to Elgast. Way too many misses these days. Let's do another drain here. Once you get control of the battle, jeez, come on, lady. Once you get control of the battle, it's actually an okay battle to learn a lot of skills, right? Because this thing's got so much health. So you could really spend a lot of time here just, yeah, learning abilities, right? Spamming abilities on him. Shattering Strike, yeah, we're good there. Landed. There we go. I got a weakening slash on him now. Oh, swing and a miss. Let's see what Examine says for him. He's got 115,000 health. I've got about half of his AP gone. The dwarves delved too deeply and freed this ancient creature of shadow and flame, who now rules Moria. He absorbs fire. He's weak to water and light. Immune to stun, immune to root, sleep, bind melee, bind range, bind shadow, or bind spirit and slow. So, there you have it. Alright, let's do Warcry. Oh, wait. Yeah, let's do Warcry. So Warcry with Gandalf here is going to make him be one of the attackers. And yeah, him using Bolt of the Valor is kind of insane. That's why Warcry is so good in this battle. Yeah, Cloudwater Fury too. There, he's, you know, again weak against water, so that's always nice. And then what's Alagos gonna use? Draining Shot. Yeah, that's pretty solid too. Restore some of his health there. Let's see. What else can we do to him here? Lowers foe's spirit defense. Let's do that. Could use Leech Inspiration. Or Wounding. Let's get him with a Wounding Strike. So there were times where I've done this battle and I've actually used mushrooms to double action points, but you don't really need it, honestly. We're doing really well here. You know, the nice thing about that is, you know, you just have more of an AP pool for when he actually does, you know, take it away with those various abilities. But, you know, as long as you've got some way to restore it, I mean, obviously Gandalf is the obvious answer, because he's just able to, you know, drain so much of that. It's pretty nice, but actually it's looking like I need to reduce his accuracy. And I'm going to swap Idriel back out. Let's do a Mountain Shield. Alright, let's refresh Company Resistance. And it's time to use a True Shot, I think. Lowers foe's melee defense. Actually, yeah, let's debuff him a little bit more. He's got really piled up the debuffs on him. Alright, here's the big one. This is gonna hurt. Or not, I mean, because we've got Mountain Shield. Alright, let's do another... Oh, he's still a Fellowship Grace on everybody. Oh, not Had Hot, it looks like. Alright. Let's just put that Mountain Shield back up. Shot. But yeah, we really stacked up the debuffs on him. Probably at the... Oh yeah, there you go. 61-58 now. Let's just use some crappy sword abilities. You know, I'm tempted to just smoke him with True Shot, but I think I might hold off on that, actually. Just use this guy to learn some more abilities. Did I do Flash Arrow? Yeah, I got Flash Arrow on him already. He's immune to that. What about Pierce Will? Nope, it doesn't look like I put that on him. Let's see what this does now. 64-37, okay. I mean, even with all these debuffs, it doesn't actually feel like we're doing that much more damage. I mean, I want to say Wizard's Bolt was doing just a little bit over 5k. So it's like, it hasn't really increased our damage to him by that much, but... I mean, I guess, what, maybe like a fifth or so. What else? Restore some AP here. I also am very curious what happens when this guy runs out of AP. Okay, so he's got 1,412. I'm gonna see what happens when you steal all of it. Assuming he lives that long, I might have to take it easy. Weak. Didn't even do any damage to me. What a chump. One or two more drains and he should be out. Take it a little easy on him here. Let's do King's... No, let's do Grace of Apolis. $339 left. Okay, so one more drain and he'll be completely out. Man. I'm running out of fun things to slap. I think I've got him completely debuffed. Defense counter. Let's try that. Alright, here's the last drain. So he should be out now. I'm curious if he can still use all of his abilities. Uh-oh, what happened here? Oh, there we go. Right, so he's using Flaming Sword. Missed. Alright, well, it's also not his turn for quite some time. Let's see if we restore AP if we do this. Okay, we got 0 AP back, but I think everybody might be full. Okay, well, even though he doesn't have AP, I still restored AP to Hadhod. So it appears that you don't need him to have AP in order to actually get it back. Yeah, he's out. Just gonna skip. Yeah, okay, so now the problem here is that he isn't getting turns. Or he's not going to have another turn for a while. Yeah, there's a good chance that I'm just going to end up killing him before he gets another turn. Oh no, here, it's finally coming up. We'll just stall a bit and use some other abilities. I'm curious if his, you know, or the abilities that he uses has anything to do with if he's got AP or not. But I also don't want to stall forever, so. So we will see. Okay, yeah, he used Whip of Fire twice in a row. So I wonder if he can't use anything else now that he doesn't have AP. Well, that's an interesting interesting thing to know in terms of strategy then. Alright, let's just finish him off. So, I could have swore there were times, though, where I was using Warcry, and Elagast was actually using, True Shot here, but it may be because Elagast was much higher level. At least that's my theory right now. Let's see what Hadhod does. Mountain Rage, okay. Oh, and he missed. Wait. Yeah, draining shot is actually really good though here for this battle, right? Because you know, normally you'd be taking a ton of damage from this guy. So let's see what a true shot does. Probably like 30k or something stupid. Okay, 16. Still respectable. Alright, he smote his ruin upon the mountainside. And there's the Elf Stone of Fell Shadow. I absolutely love that thing. I am going to end up teaching basically everybody all the skills related to that. So, you know, it's going to be a slog, but the abilities that you learn from that thing are just absolutely devastating.
I'm still with you, my friend. I see you enter Lothlorien. My companions journeyed through these woods not long ago. They will allow you passage, but know that this is not a gift often granted. You will not enter the heart of their kingdom, merely a brief glimpse of it, so that you might understand. They are elves, immortal, and graced with powers beyond your imagining. While they remain in Middle-earth, they will aid those free people who prove worthy. Begin your journey now, back to the world of men. Bring with you both honor and a pure heart, for to be cleansed the White City demands it. To do this, you must gather those artifacts of the ages that still contain ancient power. With these you hold some measure of the elves' past greatness. Become our champion. Face the power of Mordor and help to turn the tide.
Right. Quest journal updated. Let's not view the scene. Actually, let me go grab this chest here real quick before we cut this one. Alright, so Elagast got a new cloak. HP, AP, speed. It's quite a bit of speed. It's going to lose 1 dexterity, but that's probably worth it. This doesn't have resistances. Ooh, this one's got a bunch of resistances, though, too. Fire, water, earth, air. Yes, that's none. So honestly, probably isn't worth it. He's gaining like 30-ish HP, 2 constitution, which I don't really care about. Only gaining 1 speed. That's probably, yeah, that's not worth it. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother. And then I am going to equip Barathor, though, with this Elf Stone of Fell Shadow. And we'll just take a look at those abilities. I'm going to do 2 dexterity there. 4. Actually, let's do 1 dexterity, 1 spirit. And then we'll take a look here at these abilities for Shadowcraft. So here you start out, actually you start out with the Dispel ability, and then after 5 uses you kind of officially learn it. And then you've got Whip of the Mist. So it says remove enemy enhancement on a single target. This is really good. There are, you know, at points in the game, like if you notice back in Moria there, where the caster orcs were casting, was it Dark Escape? You know, it ups their evasion and stuff. And Dispel is a way of removing that. You know, up until this point, we haven't been able to do that. So Dispel is actually going to be pretty nice at times. There's also some orcs coming up that will use, I should say Uruk-hai, that will start to use, I think it's like Damaging Shield or something like that. It's basically the same ability that that Hadhad has, that whenever you attack them, you take damage. And so Dispel will remove that as well. And then here's Whip of the Master. It says protects a party member against slowing effects. This is actually, I think the ability that I use a lot to learn more of these abilities because it's very cheap. And then you've got Silence, prevents an enemy from using any spirit power attacks for a short time. That's pretty good. Crippling is amazing, slows the attack rate of an enemy. The reason why this is so good is because it never misses. It doesn't do damage, though, like Elagast's Crippling Arrow or Hadhad's Crippling Smash. But it has that same, like, it delays the attack turns of enemies. And again, it never misses. So it gives the ability to cripple to like Barathor and Idril, right, who can't normally cripple. So Absolutely amazing ability. Drain health, obviously solid. Drains health from an enemy and grants it to the caster. Just, really, really good. Black Speech is disgustingly powerful. It's a spirit attack that does really, really good damage. Fear is completely broken. Paralyzes a single enemy with fear for a short time. Basically, if you fear an enemy, they can't block, they can't dodge, anything like that, right? So, actually, I don't think that block isn't a thing in this game. They can't dodge, right? So, your attacks will always land, no matter how bad your dexterity is. Also, they can't actually do any actions while they're feared. They basically just stand there while you beat the crap out of them. It's insane. It's so good. And then Wheel of Fire is basically Black Speech, but upgraded. So it basically does a really good a bit of damage right away, and then it does damage over time. Very similar, actually, to Hadhod's, what is it? What is his ability? Let me see here. Can't remember the name of this. Spirit Powers. Flames of Ruin. So very similar to that, except it's shadow-based, I believe. So yeah, looking forward to having all of these abilities. Basically, what I'm going to end up doing here is probably teaching these to everybody. You don't really need to do that. Obviously, it's going to be, honestly, pretty overpowered, but by having everybody with it. But that's why this elf stone here is basically why I do spirit power with everybody. It just turns everybody into a total monster. So yeah, really looking forward to that. But anyways, that actually is going to unlock the next evil mode as well. So let's just save our game here, and it'll prompt us that we've unlocked the next evil mode. All right, save complete. Resume game. Congratulations, you've unlocked a new chapter for evil mode. I also believe that this next one is going to give us the cracked Elfstone of Spirit enhancement, which are absolutely insane, and pair up really well with the Elfstone of Fell Shadow, in that all of your spirit power abilities are going to be powered up with those, and I basically put those on everybody. So I'll be doing evil mode quite a few times, but let's we'll end this one here, and I'll do the next excuse me, the next evil mode in the next video. So as always, I hope the guide was helpful, and thank you for watching.